We are going to talk about the truth regarding the San Francisco 49ers defense and how good they really are. And again, against the Arizona Cardinals, gave up some points, but we're going to really break it down to see how close the 49ers defense really is to just stifling opposing offenses. Really glad I hopped into this defensive tape because it shows that this 49ers defense is absolutely ferocious. And we're going to show a bunch of clips and examples of how that is. And again, a lot of talk about Nick Bosa and the lack of production and the lack of sacks. I think I logged maybe 4 or 5 near sacks for Nick Bosa, where he is literally lunging at the quarterback and the quarterback just gets the ball off. So the bear is getting close from finding the honey, and he's going to get there. We're going to break down the defense right now, but you already know what to do. Drop a SDS in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's break down the defense. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is going down, gang? Good to see you guys. I stayed up until 3 a.m. last night breaking down this film. Might have been a mistake because I feel like I'm hungover or something because I barely got any sleep today. But I did it so we could break down the film. And honestly, I couldn't go to sleep because when the San Francisco 49ers were balling out on defense, I kept coming across these little plays and things that I really liked from this defense. And this, full disclosure, you guys know I'm a big offensive guy. This is only the second defensive film that I've broken down throughout the year. We did a film breakdown, 49ers versus Pittsburgh with the defense. This will be my second with 49ers versus the Cardinals. And, you know, being in the stadium, and again, I'm not watching the broadcast, and I'm not watching the replays and stuff like that. It was like, feels like the defense is like giving up a lot of stuff underneath and things like that. And we're going to break it down to talk about maybe why that's happening and actually why, when you get into the tape, actually playing a lot better than I was anticipating based on watching it live. And it feels like every time Fred Warner's on the field, he is setting the tone for this defense. I mean, look at how fast you're going to get a little dump off completion to Hollywood Brown. But I mean, Fred really exemplifies the physicality and violence that this defense has. Just watch him take Hollywood Brown to the ground and then watch him continue to just punch and poke at him as he stands up. Like, Fred is violent. He is very, very violent, and he really sets the tone for the entire defense. And again, just how hard he tackles them. He's ripping at the ball. Dog. Also, some fun stuff that we were able to uncover on this tape. We were able to uncover, at least where I believe, the Talanoa Hufanga and the James Conner scuffle started, and then they had about four meetups where you could tell that there was some extra curricular stuff being said. So we're going to be able to identify the Talanoa Hufanga, James Conner stuff, and then we're going to watch it build throughout the game. So there's some good stuff. This one in particularly, this is a great job by Dre Greenlaw by being able to just shoot the gap and absolutely delivers a blow to James Conner. Bang. Look at that. But also, look at everyone up front. Look at Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead's going to shove 76 to the ground. 72 literally is going to hook his left hand around the shoulder and pull Eric out the gap. So this is a great job by Eric Armstead because they're trying to double the backer, and Eric just shoves that offensive tackle to the ground. 72 basically tackles him. Javon Hargrave is shooting down, and then when you have Fred and Dre fill the gap, it's a great tackle by Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw had a couple good plays on the day for the San Francisco 49ers. He was playing some good ball. So Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, not a surprise that those guys are all over the place. Justin, appreciate the super chat starting us off strong today. Says, I got to ask you this because I floated this idea on Twitter. If the Giants are a fire sale team, how good could the tight end duo of Walker and Kittle be? Or Waller, I should say. Obviously, Waller is a phenomenal receiving tight end. It'd be really interesting to see how the San Francisco 49ers would utilize Waller, if they would utilize him as a blocker, because typically the second tight end for the San Francisco 49ers is like a fullback almost. They pull him across the formation. They use him as a blocker, all that type of stuff. But obviously in passing formations, if you could get Waller, Kittle, Debo, I mean, who are you guarding at that particular point, right? It would be very, very difficult to stop those guys in passing formations. It would be interesting to see if the Giants would be wanting to trade him, though. That would be interesting. But I appreciate the super chat. This one, why do I have this one? Oh, this is why. All right. So this was fun to watch because I'm keying on Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave. They do the same exact thing. They do speed to power and watch it collapse the pocket. And because it collapses the pocket, Dobbs is rushed and he gets the ball out too fast, not ready. So again, we're keying on Bosa and we're keying on Hargrave. Upfield and almost at the same exact time, look at them go speed to power. And they both push and bull rush their guy and angle him at the quarterback and almost get there. They force Dobbs to throw early. I was like, ooh, it was the second play of the game. Bosa, Hargrave, these two guys are active on the 49ers defensive line. I mean, they're all active, but again, it's really fun watching these guys get after it. And like I said, Nick Bosa was probably half a step away from like 5 sacks on this day. So again, I'm really glad that I watched it and broke it down because Bosa is literally swarming the quarterback. And it's just a situation where he either doesn't get coverage on the back end or the quarterback just makes a good throw, good timing throw, and gets the ball out. I don't think that but after watching this, I really don't get the sense that Nick Bosa not getting any sacks is an indictment on him. He's doing a lot. He's getting after him. So this play is fun because we get Nick Bosa in a 2-point stance. You see him at the top of the screen. We'll get the different view of this as well. But Nick Bosa creating havoc. I'm going to go to this angle. I like this angle better. So again, key on Nick Bosa. Look at again, I'm not a defensive specialist. I tend to spend a lot more time breaking down the offense than the defense. I'm trying to be more balanced this year. And so, but I don't remember ever seeing Nick Bosa in a 2-point stance. And look at the havoc that he creates in that 2-point. Just absolutely knifes inside of the tight end, shoves the tackle off of him, and gets a tackle for a loss on James Conner. And he's hyped about it. He is hyped about it. This particular play, no, this isn't the one. And this next play that we're going to watch just really showcases the speed of 49ers linebackers Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. Watch Fred track this down and then watch Dre Greenlaw in pursuit. Fred doesn't ultimately make the initial tackle, but because Dre Greenlaw is in pursuit, take a look at the play that he's able to make because of the speed. These guys are so fast. Look at Dre. Whoo! Great job. Great pursuit. Boys are flying to the football. I thought Dre had a really good day for the San Francisco 49ers. He wasn't perfect on the day, but plays like this, I mean, that's sideline to sideline right there, man. That's the speed that you're looking for. That's the speed that's different. That's different speed. And then we get another good play by Dre Greenlaw right here to wrap up Dobbs. As you can see from this plan, it appears that Greenlaw is the guy responsible for Dobbs. So they're running zone read. Bosa's going to keep his eyes on the running back. And it looks like Greenlaw is spied on Dobbs. And he does a phenomenal job to trip him up, get the tackle. I believe this is a third down situation. I'll double check really quickly. But again, Dre's already made a couple plays early on. Yeah, I believe that forced a 3rd and 8. I believe. Wait, let me double check. Yeah, 2nd 11. Forced a 3rd and 8. So the linebackers, man, flying. Good. This particular play, all right, it was 3rd and 8, right? So we did this, Denver, when we were breaking down the defense against Denver in the preseason. I said, hey, Kyle, the Denver Broncos ran this particular wrinkle, and I want you to steal it. Here's another one that I want you to steal, Kyle. Like, I look at this, it was a big 3rd down conversion for them, and in real time, you're like, man, what are they doing? Like, how are they giving this up? How are we not getting off the field on 3rd down? Well, look, let's start up front. Remember those pass rushing, that video we saw of Fred Warner and Nick Bosa working on their pass rush moves? We got a stunt. We got a Fred Warner, Nick Bosa stunt. Look at this. Fred Warner is going to drive upfield. See how he angles at the tackle by design. He's doing that on purpose. And then look at the running back. The running back takes Fred. So Fred is the guy running the stunt. He's the lead. And then Bosa loops. Look at where Bosa is. Oh, I'm telling you, there's one. All right, help me keep track of all the near Bosa sacks that we got. There's a one. He's right there. But again, let's take a look at the concept and why I want Kyle Shanahan to steal this. So they got trips right, bunch formation, and you can see the way that they're running coverage here. This is a brilliant way to create separation for Hollywood Brown, who's right here. He's the furthest guy out. Watch what they're going to do. He basically runs behind his other wide receiver that creates a natural kind of, I don't want to say it's a block, but creates natural spacing. Do you see that? It's like a double slant, but it's by design. You've got inside guy release upfield, up the seam, and you can see it takes, I think that's Demo. It takes Demo out. Isaiah Oliver is going to play press on Wilson. But if you have Charvarius keyed on Hollywood, I mean, look at that spacing that is created. And all of a sudden, boom. Well, clearly, no, this is a pass off. So you can see Isaiah Oliver's actually working towards Hollywood. And then we got a natural rub right here. And then it creates that spacing. Charvarius is coming down on Wilson. So again, this is the concept where I'm like, all right, Kyle, I like this little route formation, especially against this defensive look, because look at the separation it created. So that's less on the defense, and that's just more on that's a good concept. That's just one of those concepts that's really nice. And so I'm not upset with the defense at all after that. During the game, you're like, oh man, what are we doing? Like, how are we giving up this third down and watching it back? I'm like, oh, okay. That's just a really good concept. And it creates a lot of space and creates that separation, and they get a first down as a result. So that's why going back and watching the tape matters, because you see things a little bit differently than, like, again, I'm in person, so it's a different scenario than being able to watch it back. What do we get right here? We get a fumble. This is pretty common with what we're seeing with how the cornerbacks are playing coverage. I believe this is called bail technique, where they're not, he's not squaring up and trying to play press or anything like that. It's a smaller cushion, but he's playing what I believe is to be called bail technique. And so when it's called bail technique, because you can see he instantly flips his hips and starts running backwards. But this is where the defenses are seemingly, completing these short passes, is on this type of coverage where the 49ers cornerbacks are basically bailing and they're giving the underneath play. So something to keep in mind when we're watching these guys on Sundays, and why it feels like I was watching and I was like, man, it feels like we're getting dinked and dunked. And they appear to be giving the underneath stuff to ensure that they don't get beat deep, is at least how I'm viewing it. Another good play by Dre Greenlaw right here, coming up with a big stop. It's a good job by Dre. Taking Zach Ertz, forcing a fourth down. Great form tackle, breaking down, making the play, getting off the field. This play I really like because I feel like it exemplifies the mentality of this defense. I want to show you where these guys start. So you can see they're starting on the opposite side hash. See the alignment. Take a mental picture of where all 11 49ers defenders are lined up. And now I want to show you where they end up when the play is over. And to me, this feels like the type of defense that the 49ers have. And we're going to stop it right here. The ref's hand goes up right there. Dead ball. Dead ball here. You have all 11 San Francisco 49ers defenders on the in between the numbers and the sideline. Just watch them all chase the ball. By the time the play is dead, all 11 are in pursuit of the football. I like that. I like that a lot. Who's leading the charge here? I think we've got Oren Burks and Fred Warner make the play. Love it. Looks like locusts flying towards the light. Absolutely. You like that out of this defense. I mean, look at all the red jerseys. They're not breaking anything. If you breaking a tackle, you're getting smacked by someone. This next play, we have a great slip. Look, so I want to focus right here on Fred. Watch Fred. Watch the little move that he puts on this tackle to slip underneath the block and make the play. It's a great job by Fred. Boom. Look at Fred, man. Look at Fred. All right, focus on Fred. See that little move. I'm telling you, man, that's all it takes. Offensive linemen play on tracks. So if you just kind of shift, see that little, it's like a little Euro step, gets right under Humphreys, and he delivers a blow. And then, who is that? Oh, who's that coming in? That's Talanoa Hufanga coming in to rip the ball out of James Conner. All right. All right. Oh. So what we're going to start to pay attention to in the James Conner Talanoa Hufanga feud. We're body language experts at this point. But every time these two are on the ground, watch James Conner's head and where he's looking. Every time. He's looking at Talanoa. Look, Talanoa's ripping at the ball, plays dead. Talanoa rips the ball out. James is like, what? Come on. Like, Fred is down there on the ground. All right. Okay. All right. And then we're gonna see it pick up a little bit later on. I'm telling you, there's like 4 more examples of Talanoa Hufanga and James Conner going at it. It's pretty funny. This one was called pass interference on either pass interference or defensive holding on Travarius Ward. I did not like this call. I thought this was a bad call. This is not a homer anything. If it's a justified call, we'll call it a justified call. But this is just a bad call. Look at, it's honestly great coverage. He gives Hollywood the outside, which allows him to squeeze Hollywood towards the sideline because he knows he has the sideline for help. And he runs this little curl. I think what they called was this hand on the back, but honestly, I don't see anything. These guys stop. They're almost like an equal position, and it's like 3 flags up. And based on Charvarius Ward reaching across, deflecting I don't see the penalty, man. I really don't. I think this is a terrible call. I think it's a terrible call. Terrible call. And I think this also would have got them off the field. So there's a couple of these opportunities where, again, watching it back, you're like, that's good defense to me. Like, that's textbook. I bet if we had Crocker on or we had a defensive back specialist, like wide receiver coach, they'd be like, yeah, that's textbook. That's textbook coverage by Charvarius. I don't see that as a penalty. That's a ticky tack BS penalty that keeps a drive alive for Cardinals. Not a. I don't think that's worthy at all. This one, look at Hargrave, man. It's so fun. It's so fun watching this defensive line with Hargrave. So they're running a crazy gap scheme where they're pulling the center and play side guard. Like, this is a crazy type of gap scheme right here. And they're trying to block down with Humphreys. And you can see that's not going to happen with Hargrave playing on the 3 tech. He sees what I love is watch him take his first step, but he's able to notice the left guard pull. And as the left guard pulls, he knows the down block's coming, and he fights across the down block, makes the tackle. Hargrave is a great addition to the San Francisco 49ers. Phenomenal addition. This particular one, I'm going to chalk it down to a coverage bust. Now, it wasn't a completion, but I'm going to show you the subtle body language that, again, you'll be able to tell it's a bust. They have this trips right formation again, right? And so you can see Fred buzzes down to Rondale, and you got 2 on Rondale, and Hollywood breaks free. Thankfully, Rondale was eating popcorn or something, or that's Hollywood. Hollywood was eating popcorn or something before the game, so he dropped the ball. But obviously, you have a miscommunication somewhere. I'm kind of the belief it might have been on Fred. I don't know. Again, I don't know. But what I'm looking at is I'm looking at Oliver flip his head around to Fred and watch this little. Fred's such an OG, man. Look at the little hand wave. You're good. Don't worry about it. So I don't know who it's on, but I like this little subtle on-field communication. Oliver flips his head around like, is that me? Fred gives him a little hand wave. You're good. So I don't know who exactly it's on, but I thought that was just cool. Watching 2 guys, communicate on the play field. Obviously, they had some kind of bust, but they thankfully didn't burn them. This is one of the better plays of the game. I actually saw Jordan Elliott of NBC Sports. That's crazy to say now. He posted this clip. I think even Richard Sherman retweeted it. This is pure domination by Eric Armstead, man. We're going to highlight Eric on this play. He's going up against Will Hernandez, pretty solid guard. Watch Eric versus Hernandez, and Eric puts Hernandez in the turf. And I had to go back and watch this. I'm like, did he trip? I mean, he got pancaked so bad. I was like, he had to trip on someone's foot. Typically, when you see guys go down like this, they trip on someone's foot. Nah, he didn't. He got cooked by Eric. Lifted up and put on his behind. That's a thing of beauty. And then, of course, Dobbs is rushed, so he throws the ball high. Great job by Armstead, man. True. Let's watch it from the other angle. This is also a great angle of Eric Armstead pancaking Will Hernandez. Pooh. Love it. And then not too far after, we're going to have one of my favorite plays of the day. and it's from 49ers Javon Kinlaw. I really like this play. So I'm going to try to get a good angle here. So what we're going to watch is we're going to watch Javon Kinlaw get manhandled. He's going to get held. He's going to shed the block and deliver a massive blow on James Conner. So watch Javon Kinlaw. He's right here in the 3-tech. Watch this play by Javon. Get off the holding. Look at this. Almost hugged by Kinlaw. Kinlaw gets off. Bang! One of my favorite plays from this film breakdown. Javon Kinlaw getting off the hold, fighting through the double, and bulldozing James Conner. Imagine getting hit by Javon Kinlaw like that. Ouch. Ouch. Great play, though, by Javon. Love that one. This one, we have another near sack by Nick Bosa. So, again, watching this tape, people are like, he's only got one sack. I'm not so – look at how close he is, man. He goes speed to power, drives the offensive tackle into the lap. He takes down Dobbs. Dobbs just gets the ball off a trigger a hair early. And this is what it's going to look like 5 more times. So Bosa was around the quarterback a lot. You're going to get a view from this angle. Watch him collapse the pocket, collapse the tackle right into the lap of Dobbs. Again, he just needs one, half a step, and that's a sack. I do got to give credit to Dobbs, man. Dobbs played really well. Dobbs is a quality quarterback. He struggles a little bit with pressure, but outside of that, I was pretty impressed with Dobbs. He's a good quarterback. He sees the field. He makes tight window throws. I wasn't expecting that really from Dobbs. He played well, so got to give him a little bit of credit. Got to give him credit. Oh, wake up, honey, near Bosa sack. Again, this shot right here basically exemplifies how close Nick Bosa was to making a ton of plays this game. He's so close. You see his hand, you see the ball. He's there to make the play. It's a half a step each time. So Bosa's going to get home. So I think if we're keeping track, let's keep track. I think that's the third near. I'm going to call it near sack because, he almost got the deflection. But I'm just going to call it a near sack because he was right there. He was a half a step away from collapsing the tackle, getting a sack on the play. So like I said, he's around the ball. He's around the football. He just needs more help on the back end. All right. This is where we're going to have some fun with Talanoa Hufanga and James Conner. So you're going to see James Conner reverse direction. Talanoa Hufanga is going to track him down. And this is where the fireworks really start to begin, in my opinion. So, all right. Hufanga on top of Conner, right? But he's not getting up. And then look at Conner kind of laying there. And I want you to look at Conner's body language after a certain point. See how Conner's just kind of rolling around? Watch the swift change in him going from laying to get off. They cut it right before. You see that? Just get off me. Look at Hufanga's just on him like, what's good, dog? He's like whispering in his ear or something. So I feel like this is where we start to get the James Conner and Talanoa Hufanga beef again. We saw Hufanga rip the ball out the other time. You got Hufanga now taking him down, staying on top of him. Looks like he's whispering a little something in his ear, and you could see the reaction that James Conner had. And it's just going to keep going. It's going to keep going. We got like 3 more examples of those two having these tiny little interactions after a play. I love it. This is a example of the blitz phasing Dobbs. I really like the blitz. You got a little stunt here from Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner. And Dobbs did not like it. And he tried to do a Brock Purdy fade. You know, when we see kind of Brock kind of fade and then turn off that front foot. Couldn't do it. Couldn't complete it. Just a little too much. Felt rushed. Javon Kinlaw got a one-on-one with the guard. Guard's getting pushed back. Javon's flashing. Dobbs says, I need to get this out. Gets it out of bounds. So I'm going to say that was a good play by the defense. I'm going to say it's a good play by the defense. All right. New set of downs. More fun body language. All right. It's a good run. It's a good run here. Boys are there to make a tackle. But we've talked about this at the beginning. Watch Conner and where his head goes instantly. He looks right past Fred, straight to Huff. Huff's not even in the play. Conner goes down, gets up, looks straight at Huff. So I would say at this point, yeah, we got something brewing here. We got something brewing between Huff and Conner. So it was going for pretty much the whole game. Again, Huff's not even to play. Look, right there. Conner gets up, whips his head around, straight to Huff. Where's Huff? Oh, I see you. Look at Huff, too. Look at Fred, by the way. Also, look at Fred's. I want you to watch Fred's body language. He's not in the play. He's there, but look at the flex. Chest out, right into Conner's face. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's something going on right here. I don't know what it is, but look at Fred. Come over. Chest up, right in him. Tally, right there. Oh, yeah. These boys are violent, and I love it. That's why, it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I was like, I can't turn this off. This is so entertaining because we're starting to see the game within the game. We're starting to see we're starting to piece together. Like, obviously, we saw the punch after the game, but we're like seeing the little intricacies all throughout the game of these guys chirping each other. And I was like, I can't turn this off. It's like 2:00 in the morning. And I can't turn off the tape. So it was fun, man. I enjoyed this tape. And like I said, we still got like 2 more. We got about 2 more interactions between these guys. Dobbs is able to break free and make a play. We got almost interception here by Fred Warner. I mean, Fred Warner played it great. Is in the perfect position. Just wasn't able to bring it down. See what type of pressure look we get up front. Does anyone cause any pressure? Not really. It's just a better play by Fred Warner. Almost getting there. Almost getting the INT. So one of the cool things about this season has been kind of the reemergence of Javon Kinlaw. I give credit to Javon for forcing Dobbs out of the pocket on this one. So watch Kinlaw, watch the pressure he creates and flashes right in front of Dobbs's face. Honestly, if Hyder isn't looping around and doesn't get pushed into Kinlaw, there's a good chance Kinlaw's coming away with a sack right here. So you can see the reason why Dobbs had to bail is because of the Kinlaw pressure. So you're going to be able to see it from this angle. He's going to be able to he uses, so he's got this little head move, right? Little move, like a little jab step, and then gets square with the offensive lineman. And then he hits him with the swim. So that's nice by Javon, man. Like when we talk about the pass rusher, Javon, little hezzy, gets square, swim. And the swim got him flash right in front of Dobbs. And you see Dobbs' reaction. Dobbs like, oh, God. Oh, God. But 72 luckily pushes Hyder into that gap and it kind of smushes Kinlaw. Otherwise, I'm going to say Kinlaw's going to get a sack there. So we got a lot of near, like this defensive line is so close. They're so close to getting home. Like right here, another play, another near sack of Nick Bosa. You're going to have a nice bull rush from Hargrave. They don't get home. It's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but these boys disrupt this play. Look at the bull rush. Again, got a little hezzy. Bull rush. Guard steps on Dobbs's foot. Bosa, so close. Like he almost knocks the ball out. You're going to see it from this angle. That's why these two are phenomenal together. Great bull rush. Impacts the play. Makes Dobbs pull the ball down. And then right here, look at how close Bosa is from getting that ball. So I think that's 4 near sacks for Nick Bosa so far. Four near sacks. Watch Hargrave on this play. Watch him track down Connor. Hargrave's good, man. Hargrave is good. He's fast. He's squatty. He's strong. He's smart. Come on, man. How often are we seeing 3 techs chase down running backs like that? The answer is we're not. But we saw it out of Kinlaw. We saw it out of Hargrave. We're going to see it from a bunch of these guys. These guys get after the football. Wake up, honey. Near Nick Bosa sack. Nick Bosa's on the left side going up against the right tackle. Gets a chip. We got it underneath. Oh, look at that. A near Nick Bosa sack. That's number 5 if you're counting at home. Gets chipped. Little, you're going to get a stunt action. That is, what do we say? Number 6. Number 6 near Bosa sack. So there's number 6. I'm telling you guys, they just keep coming. Like he is around the football constantly. So again, one of the reasons why I'm glad I hopped into the tape is because Nick Bosa is there. Like, he's doing his job. He is putting himself. Oh, look at that closeout speed by Greenlaw. Nick Bosa's putting himself in position to make plays. Dobbs just got the ball out a hair quicker. That's it. And that's why you got to respect Dobbs for how he played. He was not holding onto the football. And Dobbs played really well. He got himself out of, like I said, we're on 6 near sacks right now from Nick Bosa. Kind of like the thing that Eric Armstead joked about Danny Dimes, saying like, man, why can you hold the ball longer against us when we played you on Thursday Night Football? Then you go and play against the Seattle Seahawks and you hold the ball all day long and they get 11 sacks. Dobbs over Murray? Yeah, right now. He's playing great ball, man. He's playing great ball. Dobbs is he's a starter. I mean, he's playing like a starter. This is actually really good coverage by Ambry Thomas. So you got a straight go ball from to Hollywood Brown. That's really good coverage by Ambry. We're not going to be able to say that a little bit later, but got to give credit where credit is due. I know a lot of people are upset with Ambry, but this is really good coverage. I mean, he is on Hollywood Brown's hip. That's great coverage. That's a really good coverage. Oh, wake up, honey. Near sack by Nick Bosa. Close. I don't know. But again, look at how close he is. Look at Nick Bosa. He is constantly around this quarterback. Bosa coming off the edge. Again, he is getting there. Dobbs is just doing a really good job of getting the ball out on time. So just for the sake of it, we're going to call that not or 7 near sacks. If Bosa is basically half a step away from the quarterback, I'm calling that a near sack. This is a really good pass rush from Drake Jackson. And this is where Ambry, after had a really good rep, got beat a little bit. This is a really good rep by Drake Jackson. I want you to watch the technical aspect of this. Watch Drake flash his chest. See that? Flash how he's kind of opening up the chest. And that's going to initiate the tackle to punch. And when that tackle does that, look at him switch his shoulder placement. And that forces the tackle to miss. And then he rips and ducks under. That's technical right there. Now, I would say this was Drake Jackson's best rep on the day. He was pretty quiet for the most part. But I like the technical savvy. Show the chest. It initiates the tackle's punch, and then he readjusts his chest, and it makes the tackle miss, and then he's able to get the edge. That was really nice. But let's see what happened with Ambry. Oh, Ambry got on the double. And Wilson's a really good wide receiver. I really liked him coming out of Stanford. Got him with the double move. So, unfortunate for Ambry because he had a really good rep and then bit on the double move. and got beat deep. And then we're going to have the touchdown to Wilson. This just looks, again, like another bust. I don't know who's responsible. I don't know uh, what the rules are. I don't know if Ambry is supposed to kind of fade a little bit more and play like the goal line, so he's like in between these two. But as you can see, he crashes down on Ertz. And again, I don't know if it's Huff, because if you look at this side between Charvarius and Gibson, you see how they play it. It's basically the same route concepts on each side of the field. Charvarius kind of bails back, right? And they leave this open. And they kind of clamp this route. Where on this side, you see the difference. Ambry closes on this route. And then I think that opens up the passing lane for that one. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say Ambry's a little out of position based on what they're doing on this side. So, because these guys are playing that route two different ways. All right, let's scoot it up a little bit. More Talanoa Hufanga and James Conner. So here comes Talanoa Hufanga. And then look at the little conversation these guys are having. Again, look at Connor's head. It's always in the direction of Talanoa Hufanga after these plays. So this was going on all game between these guys. I can't wait for the rematch. It's going to be a good one. Let's see. We have another touchdown. So this is the other touchdown that they were able to get. I mean, it's a tough ask. Dre Greenlaw versus Wilson. And again, Wilson's a really good wide receiver. So I would say it's a pretty tough task to try to guard Wilson on this in-breaking route. But Wilson's going to be a guy. I just hope I don't think this is a fluke at all by Wilson. Wilson's good. He was good coming out of Stanford. You could see it, and it's translating. He's probably one of their best receivers right now. And he's probably better right now than Hollywood and Rondale. And it's a great ball, by the way. Oh, what do we got? We got Talanoa and Hufanga again. Great job by Talanoa Hufanga to not give up on the play and chase it down. Burks is good by getting there, isn't able to bring him down, but Talanoa Hufanga is able to hit him out of bounds. So I like this little reaction because you've got Talanoa Hufanga going to a flex. Flex. Connor gets up, and then look at that little body language right there. Like that. Oh, Huff goes at Connor. Connor goes away from Huff. This is Hufanga asserting dominance over James Conner. That's how I'm going to interpret this. Huff is flexing, looks at Connor. Connor notices it's Huff, and then he says, "No, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. I don't want the smoke. I'm going to wait till you're not wearing a helmet, Hufanga, and then we'll talk." See that? Pops up. See that little let me get out of the way. Huff goes at Connor. Huff says, "I'm gonna see you after the game without your helmet on, dog." uh Fun stuff. Holding on Greenlaw. Should be. I don't know if they called it, can't remember. Yep, they did. Oh, look, another near sack on for Nick Bosa. This would be number 8 for those counting at home. So here you got Nick Bosa, and look at again how close he is. Number 8 of being a half step away. So again, it's not like Bosa is just getting dominated or anything. You have to give credit to Dobbs for getting the ball out. I mean, that's a dime. That's a dime on time. Good job. Good job by Dobbs, man. Because if he hesitated for 1 second, Bosa was going to take his head off. And that was the theme all game, is that he didn't hesitate. So I respect Dobbs for how he played against us. Jackson almost gets the ball on that screen. So this feels like a type of game where Bosa's probably annoyed because he was constantly around the quarterback. Like here's another one. Like here's another example of Dobbs being a good quarterback. Javon Hargrave is going to plow into him, beats his guy instantly, and Dobbs is able to complete the pass on the money. So, hey man, Dobbs is all right. He's all right. The 49ers defensive line was so close on so many plays. Dobbs was all right. Like this is another dime by Dobbs. Like that's a dime, guys. Whew. All right, Dobbs, we're going to have our eye on you next time the 49ers play you guys. He's good. He's good. I respect it. I respect the way he plays. He's going to give the Cardinals a shot to win a bunch of games for sure. So when I look back at, the score, them putting up 16 points, having that like 99-yard drive, I understand it. I see it. Dobbs did a really good job. He did a really good job helping his offensive line that was giving up a lot of pressures by being able to get the ball out quickly. This one was almost interception. Kerry Hyder with the pressure. Dobbs steps up. Again, this is what Brock does so well. It's being able to like have that pocket presence to be able to step up and kind of fade away from pressure while completing accurate throws. But you can see when Dobbs does it, the ball sails on him. Almost turned into interception. So when you get Dobbs off platform, one of the things that I've noticed is he's not like Brock, where Brock, it doesn't matter what platform he's throwing off of. With Dobbs for the most part wants to be clean. And if you kind of force him up or move around in the pocket and reset to throw, he doesn't have the same accuracy. But when he's got the time to just see it, he finds it. We got the Hargrave sack. Again, Hargrave just beating the guard. Gets home. The one sack on the day. But like I mentioned, and like we've watched, there have been plenty of opportunities for the 49ers to get home. I think we counted, 8 near sacks for Nick Bosa. And then we got our backups in. So what I'm interested in, and someone who actually kind of caught my eye a little bit, is this Sheffield guy, number 35. So the Arizona Cardinals don't take their starters out on offense. They keep their guys in. 49ers bring in all the backups. So you got Winters, Flanagan Fowles, Oliver still playing. You got some starters still playing, but for the most part, on the back end, you've got Odom, you've got Jair Brown, you've got the Sheffield guy that they just signed. I think that's Ambry at the top. Good tackle by Isaiah Oliver here. But there's this one rep by Sheffield where I'm like, all right, well, if this is how we're going to play, I wouldn't mind seeing you get a little bit more action. So let's go to it. I think it's the last play. So Sheffield versus no, I don't know if it's this one actually. This one is, he makes a good tackle on Ertz. So I like that. That's a good tackle on Ertz. Another one comes down, breaks down, another good tackle. Okay. He even got a little stiff arm, but he stayed with it. Stiff arm here. Stayed with it, still was able to get the tackle. He was still the main guy to get this tackle. He's around the hips first. So I'm like, okay, Sheffield. And then this rep, I really like, or not this one. The last one I really liked because they challenged him one-on-one right here. So Sheffield on Pascal. I like it. I don't know. Again, I have no idea who this guy was before they signed him this week. But I mean, look at this. Like, that's pretty darn good coverage. See him instantly. He can't locate the ball, but he instantly sticks his hand into like that bucket area that Pascal's trying to catch the ball. I mean, You talk about great ball placement. This is almost perfect ball placement. Upfield, outside shoulder towards the back pylon. Perfect ball placement. But that's good coverage. Like, that's really good coverage. And you even have a little bit of a recovery because if you look back at the bottom, you could see him kind of mirror, and then Pascal takes inside leverage and kind of a veteran move to kind of slingshot underneath and then keeps in great position to have an attempt to break up the ball. So I'm like, who is this guy? I would like to see more of him. I would like to see more of this guy. I've never seen him before. I have no idea who he is. But in like 3 plays, I was like, oh, who is this guy? So we'll see. We'll see if we see more of him. Not bad. Not bad for a guy that we signed off the streets during the week and threw him in a jersey and put him in a game. Not bad. So overall, I think, the title of this is like the truth about the 49ers defense. People are concerned about the lack of sack production by Bosa and stuff like that. To be honest, he defense looks pretty good to me. Obviously, they have some things to work out in regards to the the coverage stuff. There's definitely some coverage things that they need to work on, it appears. But Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, those guys are getting after it. Fred Warner, Drake Greenlaw, they're getting after it. Talanoa Hufanga, you're getting after it. I don't love like this kind of like bail technique that they're running on the outsides with the cornerbacks because it's just giving the underneath stuff. It feels like. Um, I feel like it's less on the players, kind of indicative of the scheme that they're running. So, hey man, these guys are playing well. Um, and again, I got to give a lot of credit to Dobbs because when I was watching the game live in the stadium, I'm like, man, like the Cardinals shouldn't be moving the ball like this on the 49ers, or like, why aren't they getting home? Why isn't this happening? And again, getting back into it, you're like, all right, well, I actually have to give Dobbs a ton of credit. Dobbs played really well. He was getting the ball out quickly and precisely and accurately. He was making good reads. He wasn't perfect on the day, but that was a game where you're like, all right, Dobbs is actually a good quarterback. Um, you know, I have to apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game kind of stuff. So with Dobbs, I'm like, okay, makes me feel a little bit better because he just played really well. It's not like the 49ers defense played bad. He just played really well. And I can live with that. Those guys get paid millions of dollars too. And you have to take that into account. So really not bad. Not bad at all. Um and if I had to give critiques, my main critiques is I want to see more consistent pressure on the opposite side of Nick Bosa, whether it's Cleveland Farrell or whether it's Drake Jackson. I just want to see more consistent pressure off the left side. Hargrave and Bosa are animals. They are animals. They are constantly wrecking havoc up front. Eric Armstead is going to make big plays, and he's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to do the dirty stuff. Javon Kinlaw has been phenomenal. I want to see more. I want to see more from Cleveland and Drake. I think there's another gear to both of their games, and I want to see. I want to see the opposite side of Nick Bosa generate more pressure. So That's the one critique that I have of the defensive line. And then, like I said, at the secondary, Ambry definitely struggled. Ambry struggled. The coverage, like this, it's more of a scheme thing with the coverage, I would say, than anything else. It just feels like they want to play off. They want to play soft zones and they want to play with a ton of cushion, and that opens up the underneath stuff. Um, does that create the compounding effect where the quarterback's getting the ball out really fast? So that's the thing that I think they really need to kind of identify. It's above my pay grade. Obviously, I'm not a defensive expert. I'll make that abundantly clear. But how I'm perceiving it is, if you're going to play soft zone or off coverage and they're taking it, and you're like, what did we count? Nick Bosa with 8 near sacks. Well, what if you flip the coverage? What if you want to press man? Or if you're running still zone shells, what if you just ran press out of zone? And you forced the quarterback to hold the football for a half a second longer. If Dobbs was forced to hold the ball for a half a second longer, that 49ers defense might have had 10 sacks on the day. So that's where I'm looking at it. That's how I have to analyze it. That's how I have to view it is, okay, they're not getting home because all these quarterbacks are taking the short stuff. They're taking all the underneath. They're taking what the 49ers are giving them. And as a result, it's taking away from the pass rush, right? We talk about it all the time. When we face a good pass rush, what is the best way to neutralize a pass rush? Quick passing game, screen game, all those types of things. You get the ball out of your hands quickly. And that's what Dobbs did. He got the ball out quickly, and it resulted in the 49ers not producing a ton of sack production. There were a ton of pressures. The defensive line was doing their job, but he had outlets. He had spots to go with the football. So that's how I'm looking at it. I put it more on scheme right now. I think that they have the guys to be able to do it. But they are playing a lot of bail technique, and because of it, they're leaving the underneath open, and the quarterbacks are taking it, and it's taking away from the pass rush. That's how I view it. Interesting. The Panthers are not only looking to trade for a wide receiver, but they want a number 1 caliber guy. They just traded DJ Jones. Or not DJ Jones, DJ Moore. This is their top priority right now. Why? Because the organization is all in on Bryce Young, the player and the person. They love him. They want to support him. They believe they can push this season by adding another big time playmaker. I think I think Brian Burns is going to get moved. That's my gut feeling right now. I feel like, sorry, and I just read that report because it came across, and obviously the 49ers, they're not trading Debo, they're not trading Ayuk. No, I will not trade Brandon Ayuk for Brian Burns. I will not do it. Not even close. That's a non-conversation for me. If Scott Fitterer calls me and says, Brad, I'll give you your Brian Burns wish, but it's at the cost of Brandon Ayuk, I'd say no. So that's a no for me, dog. We need BA. We need BA in this offense. Him and his connection with Brock Purdy's too strong. I'm not doing it. I'm not trading BA for Brian Burns. Not going to happen. So I love Brian Burns. I'd probably cut off my left leg to get Brian Burns on this roster. I am not trading Brandon Ayuk for Brian Burns. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. I need BA 5-year contract. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. So we'll see. BA, he's not going nowhere. We are not trading BA at all. That's Purdy's guy. So it's not going to happen. But I do think Brian Burns is available for trade. The fact that they're trying to buy offense and they're not going to pay Burns is that what I sense is the Panthers are saying, we will trade you Brian Burns for a wide receiver. That's what I'm hearing. So I think the Panthers are both buyers and sellers. I think the Panthers have an offensive group, Frank Reich as the head coach, former quarterback McCown in the building. That's an offensive group, and they want to build offensively. So I feel stronger than ever that Brian Burns is going to potentially be dealt. I don't know if the 49ers are going to be involved. I would love it. I think that would be great. I think that would, like I said, I want more pass rush on the opposite side of Nick Bosa. I feel like that would be a game changer. And like I said, they rotate defensive linemen all the time. So you're still playing Cleveland and you're still playing Drake. But I'm not doing it at the cost of Brandon Ayuk. That's just not going to happen. Who gives up a wide receiver for Brian Burns? I don't know. I would have maybe said the Buccaneers, but they're getting kind of hot with Baker. So maybe their mindset, and they're playing a kind of weak division. So maybe their mindset shifts to not trading Mike Evans or Godwin. I thought both those guys would have been able to be traded. I don't know. But if I'm the 49ers, as you guys know, like more than ever, am I willing to sell draft picks for a game changer? With what we saw, the impact of CMC's addition and how little they gave up for him, I'm 100% listening to any call. I'm making calls. Who's available? Who you got? Got any cornerbacks? You got any edge? Who you got? Anyone available? I'm calling because I've seen the impact that if you hit on one of these proven guys, it makes those picks meaningless. It really makes those draft picks meaningless because they're already a crapshoot to begin with. And then you get a guy who you know what you're getting. And he's instantly able to compete towards a Super Bowl this year, which is where the window is. So if I'm the 49ers, if I'm John Lynch, if John Lynch, let's just give a hypothetical. John Lynch says, you know what, Brad, we like what you do. We want you to come work with us. I want you to become a consultant or an advisor. Just tell me all your nonsensical trades and thoughts on roster evaluation. He would be so annoyed with me because I'd be like, let's get this guy. Let's go get that guy. This is how we're going to get this guy. If we need to go get that guy, let's do this. He'd be like, I instantly regret bringing you in as a consultant because you are relentless. I would be in his office every day. I'd sit down. I'd sit right I'd assume he's got a chair right in front of his desk. And I would just be like, so how are we going to get Brian Burns today? What do we need to do? Who do I need to call? You're gonna let me call Fritterer yet? He'd be like, get out of my office. I'd be like, come on, Johnny. You know what it is. You know what it is. Even if it's for a rental, even if it's just a rental, this is the window. This is the year. I would definitely be calling on Bonito for sure. For sure. But I'm doing whatever it takes. Doing whatever it takes to make this already extremely talented roster more talented. That's what I'm looking for. And part of watching this tape, again, I don't watch that tape against the Cardinals and be like, the reason why they're getting picked apart is because they don't have quality corners. To me, they're playing, it's more scheme related. It's more scheme related. And if you could generate more pressure and you could tweak the scheme a little bit, I watched week 1 versus Steelers defense, and I've watched week 4. So there's a big gap between the tape that I've studied. So after watching this tape against the Cardinals, I'm in the belief that still an edge would be better than cornerback. Because like I've talked about, like I think Isaiah Oliver's good enough. I do. I think he's good enough. I think Diamador and Charvarius are starting caliber cornerbacks that can have success in this defense. What we're seeing is scheme related, it feels like, with the way that they're playing coverage. So if you tweak your coverage and you get another elite pass rusher, and then you have Bosa, Hargrave, Eric, and BB getting after the quarterbacks, that ball's going to have to come out faster. It's going to come out quicker. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. But you guys know the Brian Burns agenda is strong with me. So any way that I could shift the conversation back towards Brian Burns, I'm going to do it, because I truthfully believe in my heart that that's the move to make. That's the move to make. So we'll see. But post-mortem on 49ers offense and 49ers defense. 49ers offense is fantastic. 49ers defense is really close. They're really close. It kind of reminds me of when D'Amico Ryans was kind of getting his feet wet with the 49ers. And I think one of the things that we got to remember is D'Amico grew up in the 49ers system. He went from, what did he go? He went from quality control to linebacker coach to DC, and he did that within the 49ers building, where Wilkes is brand new. He's a transplant. So I think he's still learning. He's still gathering information on how to use the scheme. So what I perceive to be the case right now is I think the defense that we're kind of seeing, it's going to continue to evolve. I don't think we're going to see this all the way throughout. I think they're going to keep making adjustments. I think they're going to keep tweaking it. And the biggest thing that I think they need to do is they need to take away the short pass. That's what they got to do. They got to take away the short pass, not give the short pass. Because when you have Bosa, when you have Hargrave, when you have Eric, when you have Cleveland, when you have Drake, when you have Kinlaw, these guys can generate pressure. So don't give the quarterback an outlet to get the ball out quickly. Do the opposite. Take away the quick outlet and allow your pass rush to thrive on that. Force the quarterback to hold the football. Use your coverage to force the quarterback to hold on to the ball. Because if you do that, I see more success that way. I mean, again, it sounds super elementary, like, oh, just play more press. Like, just stop giving up the 5-yard routes. Take those away. Now it might translate into a couple more big chunk plays if you get beat in those scenarios, but I want to rely on my pass rush. And based on what I'm seeing out of my pass rush, they just need a half a step before they're getting home. So, how do I adjust my defense to get that defensive line a half a step longer? If I can force that quarterback a half a step longer to hold on to that football, my defense is getting home. My defense is making it real ugly for these guys. So that's kind of where my thought process is. So we'll see what the adjustments that the 49ers make. Especially with Dak Prescott coming to town, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. They got Ferguson at tight end, Pollard. It'll be interesting to see what the health of their offensive line is looking like, because that's going to play a big impact. But as it stands right now, I see same thing applies with Dak. I want to pressure him. I want to put Dak. I want to make him hold the football. I don't want to give him the short stuff. Like, that's the opposite of what I want to do for Dak. I don't want Dak to get into rhythm. So, like, that's what my adjustment is. And my game plan would be for Dak is stop playing off. Stop playing bail technique. Maybe play a little bit more press and take away the quick throws. Take away the short stuff. Don't allow him to get into rhythm. Don't allow him to dump off. Don't allow him to make him challenge you deep. Make him hold the football so that when he holds on to the football, he's getting suffocated by the defensive line. That's what I don't want the opposite of that. Like, I don't, that's again, with my limited knowledge of defense, that's what my adjustment would be. Stop giving up the short stuff. Make them work for it. Make him work for it. Don't allow him to get into that rhythm of just dinking and dunking. Take away the dinkins and the dunks and force him to go deep. Force him to have longer developing plays. Sack the quarterback. That's what I want. That's what I want. But this offense and this defense is really good. I feel really good after watching that, especially after being like, after you're like not totally loving what I saw. Just because it felt like they were giving up that short stuff, and that's what it felt like. And it's just like, man. So this defense is really close. This defense is being really close to being very, very challenging to move the ball on. I still think there are some tweaks. Secondary, obviously. I think tweaks in the secondary is what it comes down to. So we'll see. We'll see. So yes. Press Prescott. Make him make the hard throws. Do not give him the underneath. Make him uncomfortable. Make him make the hard throws. Do not take away the hard throws and give him the easy throws. That's the opposite of what I want to do with Dak. I want Dak uncomfortable because an uncomfortable Dak is turnover prone. So I wouldn't like that same game plan and coverage game plan against what they did against the Cardinals. I would want to change that. I would want to change that. So we'll see. Well, that I think will be something that we keep our eye on when we do our film breakdown next week. So we have something to keep an eye on. So we'll see how this tracks. We have our critiques, we have our evaluations, and we're going to roll that over into next week when we watch the tape of the defense. And we're going to see if it was the same. We're going to see if they made any adjustments, any tweaks, see what worked, see what didn't work, see who balled, see who didn't ball. So hope you guys like this one. Again, trying to do defense more. And all that stuff. And I'm glad I did the defense. Gives me a better picture of the team as a whole. And we're going to keep breaking down this team as best we can. And now we're pretty much, after today, we're pretty much fully focused on Dallas. Big Dallas week. Oh, the Dallas Cowboys do not like the San Francisco 49ers. They do not like us at all. They do not like us at all. And it's the way I like it. It's the way I like it. It's rivalry week. It's Dallas week. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Smash that like button. Appreciate everyone who tapped in. I see some of y'all stayed for the whole live. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate all the support on the channel. All the support across social media. You guys are the best. Shout out to SDS. SDS remains undefeated. Per usual, what else is new? Shout out the Sourdough Squad. Grab your cookies on the way out. We got a lot of film cookies on the channel here. I like it. I like it. I also like this. I've hated Dallas since the womb. I think that's all of us. That's always how we're vibing. Appreciate all you guys. Shout out my OG SDS. Shout out new SDS. If you don't know what SDS is, you should know. If you got a gluten intolerance, this isn't the channel for you. That is for sure. Shout out the Sourdough Squad. You guys are the best. I'm out of here. Get your cookies. Hashtag gluten gang. We out. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to